have the first emotional response. Because in the first emotional response, I'm not surprised that it happened. I know Charles said it. I'm not surprised. I've been at dinner tables where we said, man, if this happens, they're going to storm the Capitol or they're going to burn the White House down. I think every black family's heard that kind of phrase.
Sure.
So we understand that. But what this really about, and I think this is important to get $1 million worth of game, so to speak, is what were they angry about? The vote. See, they want us to divert to the storming. They're angry. The things that we protest against were about life and death, about, citizens of life and death for black and brown people. They're angry because of the vote and was willing to risk 4 people's lives for that, and was willing to risk being incarcerated behind the vote. So that's important for us to understand how important that is to people like that in that time of mind frame. So the vote is the most important, which leads to what? Group economics, which then leads to systematic racism. That's why they were climbing the walls. They weren't climbing the walls. You have to go back to why they were mad. Because in Georgia, it becomes a blue state. In California, they're voting now. Oh, if you get out of, if you're if you come out of prison, you're down to vote now. Those are the things that are systematically changing the country. So $1 million a game. Realize why they were angry and not the emotion of what happened, and say, now arm your kids with education, arm your kids with voting, arm your kids with group economics, because those are the things that people are dying over, and starts the trickle effect of you getting shot in the street, defund the police thought process, all those things. Remember why they were angry.
Mm-hmm. It's obviously we saw an attack on our country, an attack on our democracy. But for all the people that sit back and think in 2022 that there is no white privilege, you saw it yesterday. If you have to ask yourself, what if that was black people? There's a problem. We protest, we chant, we do this, we get beat up. They call the National Guard. We have the courage to say, we come in Wednesday. We coming on Wednesday. And what do you do Tuesday night? You call the National Guard. You have them stand there at the steps. We marching, we doing whatever, we still get beat up. You got these cats, the privileged cats, they run in the Capitol, which is not supposed to happen, and they get to do what they want, and it's still going on. It's unfortunate that it's still going on, but the good thing about us is we're starting to make changes. So now the people that we're making change with, they have a job to do. They have the job to make sure things start to turn around and, become how we want it. I'm disappointed that I saw that, but my thing is, how you let this guy get in Nancy Pelosi's office,
put his feet up,
and go like this? How does that happen? And you can't let a brother just come up to one cop and say one thing without getting mace, billy club, or anything. So that's what white privilege is for all the people that sit back and act like there's no white privilege. We have a couple of CEOs. We have 1 or 2 black billionaires. There's, we've come a long way. Well, we haven't come long enough.
I think it's important to remember the history that got us here. 1877, the compromise of 1877 and that electoral crisis when all the soldiers were pulled from the South and it ended Reconstruction and that instituted Jim Crow. And we have lived in that state and it's gotten better, but we're still trying to fix that moment. And hopefully this is the beginning of fixing that moment, because that history has lived with us here in America.
And I propose, are we going to break? Okay.
Go ahead.
Because Kenny, we come from certain neighborhoods where people have to do what they do, right? Nonviolent, get caught with a bag, they get 20, 30 years, right? They got to do what they got to do. They're nonviolent, they've, exhausted every options, not smart enough to get a scotch or whatever, but they see opportunities to drop off a bag and get paid. They get caught, they get 25, 30 years. So all them people that stormed the little Capitol, they should get 25, 30 years. They should get harsh sentences for doing what they did.
And there have been multiple arrests already. They are identifying those people who breached the Capitol.
I want to see 25, 30 years.
Yeah.
Look, I was excited to be here.